Such a pleasure to speak with you all about Find Your Friends. This movie was a total blast. It has such a great energy to it. And Isabel, I know this was based on a real incident for you, and it's crazy. You basically lived Steven Spielberg's Duel. How was it taking this terrifying lived experience and then fictionalizing it and expanding it into a movie? Did you find that therapeutic in a way?
Oh my God, yeah, like completely. It felt so therapeutic and just like I don't know, because the movie obviously is not just based on that one experience, but it I kind of brought other elements in that I was sort of, dealing with, leaving college and sort of being stuck in weird party rituals and like in a way that's how me and my friends learned how to socialize at that time and like coming to terms with that too and like how that carried over into the adult world and then taking it to Joshua Tree and using that real life experience was sort of fucked up but amazing at the same time, you know?
That makes complete sense. And Bella, you and the whole group are having just a great time early on. How is it shooting the party scenes? Like, does that even feel like work, or is it like actually weird pretending to have the time of your lives in a controlled environment?
That's a good question. I guess it's a little bit of both. I definitely had tons of fun when it came to being the more extroverted version of her. I felt that she definitely was the one. If there was a character in the group to be all like, yes, like that would be her. And so yeah, sorry, I don't know. Did I just jump away for a second?
Oh
No.
no,
Mm-mm.
you're still here.
Okay, cool. Something popped up on across my screen, kind of freaked me out. And then, but you're also in a controlled, yeah, as you said, environment, and you have to make sure that you're on your cues, and that way your p's and q's, as they say. But at the same time, you're also like, does this scene need a twerk? Like, does it? Like, does it want one?
Every scene needs a twerk for sure,
Right?
at
And
least in
it's
this
just
film.
fun.
And Chloe, you have some hilarious lines in this film. I wrote this one down. I didn't want to misquote it. Your dick is so small that when you tried to fuck me, I thought I was being fingered by a cashew. Like these are just wild things that
Yeah,
you're saying.
yeah, I think it was okay, so I remember when we were making this movie, I once we were towards the end of it, I was like, wait a second. I feel like I almost had like too much fun making it, and I was like, did I like not take that project seriously enough? I'm not even kidding. Like when I walked away from it, I was like, I actually think I had like too much fun on set because I focused too much on making myself laugh and people around me laugh than just like doing hard work. Like all I was focused on like the whole like month and a half we were working on the movie was just like having fun and laughing and everyone was so funny. And I remember when we were done, I was like, I think I actually had too much fun and I didn't work hard enough. But then I once I saw it, I was like, oh no, it kind of did read well on screen that I was actually genuinely having so much fun and like constantly just joking around with everybody and it was just really funny.
Yeah, I think it worked out for the best for sure. Your character's a blast. And Sophia, there's a lot of stress for everybody on this girls' trip. We see Maddie try to support Amber and then she kind of gets pushed away. What appealed to you about really getting to explore these changing dynamics and these deep-rooted friendships?
I think what's really cool about it is that a lot of the girls' intentions are hidden until they're not. Like it's sort of like a reveal thing, like reveal the journey as you like go on. And like Maddie's intentions are like feelings towards Amber and stuff are like really you don't more open to interpret. You don't really see them until she really gets a chance to like confront her, and then you're kind of like, oh, whoa, like so. Oh, Maddie's like mad, like Lavinia, or like but it's still unique to her. Like, uh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it totally comes out in the film. Everybody has layers, and Isabel. As I mentioned, there's a great energy to this film. It's very propulsive. whether it's a party sequence or the intense scenes on the road. How is it finding that frenetic pace to the film, but not wearing out the viewer? I thought you found a really good pace for it.
Thank you. I feel like that's something I really work with my DP on. You know what I mean? Like having it feel like everything's happening in real time and we're following Amber and we're following this journey to the desert and it feels real. You know what I mean? And we're being taken along this ride and I don't know, I feel like because it's sort of, I mean, I know the girls go hard in the movie, but like I feel like it's really realistic in a way, in many ways, the film up until the end, probably. But like, I feel like that grounds it in some sort of reality that makes it feel like the pace makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, this is the realistic journey of like going on this girls' trip. And then in the editing room, just, yeah, finding that kind of balance, right? Not cutting away too soon, but staying long enough where it feels like, okay, we're here, we're here and we're feeling that. So, yeah. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, yeah. I thought you found that
Wait, I
balance
forgot
for
what the
sure.
question
It
was.
was just about the pacing and
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, you answered it. Bella, there's some really intense scenes in the last act where, you and the other women are striking back and not being victims. It reminded me of your work in St. Clair a bit. What did that mean for you to get a scene where the women really get agency and especially when they're not being supported systematically by, like the police and everything else going on?
What was the question though?
Just what did it mean for you to have that part of the script where the women really get agency and strike back?
Well, when I read this script, I was on a plane, which is a great place to read a script, especially one as traumatizing as this one. Um, and then my partner, my fiance, he kept asking me like, what was wrong? Why I was in a weird mood the whole flight. I was like, because I just read this fucking script, okay? And so then I got in an argument with him on the plane. So it was off to a great start already. And I think by the ending, I was like, oh, thank goodness. When I was reading it, thank goodness, cut it off, cut it all the way off, make it a nub, no longer there. And without giving so much away. But I was like, okay, good, because I was happy that Izabel, as the writer, put me through all of this trauma while reading to give it to me at the end, something that I needed and the payback that felt necessary to well, what women have to deal with all the time. And so, yeah, I was always really excited when we were getting to that last portion of filming because I am nervous, of course. You only have so many days. You've got your big ending of the movie. It's around 6, 7 pages, and so you want to make sure you have enough time to really. And then you've got the gun and the action stuff, and so it was definitely nerves to make sure that we got it all what we needed, what Izabel needed from us. But I was also stoked because hello, you know, just fucking just and it was fun to film. Jake seemed totally fine.
It
He
was
was
such a
fine.
fun scene to film. It was like good. It was like the best vibes.
It
Everyone
was
was like
good
hanging
vibes.
out.
I
Like,
Jake was tied down and he couldn't get up, so I just like hung out with him. I was going through my phone the other day and I'm just like chilling with him with my drink in hand, just like sitting right next to him as he's like tied up with a fake penis out. It's some of the most ridiculous stuff you've ever seen in your life.
That's hilarious. And Chloe, there's a scene early on in the car where all the women are exchanging these sex stories and they're laughing, but they're all various levels of traumatic events that they're sharing. And I feel like that's going to be sadly really resonant and relatable to a lot of women that watch this film. How is it just filming that scene and is that something like what was your thoughts on that scene? Because I thought it was so interesting as part of
Well,
the
I
film.
had to like make a bunch of stuff up and like, obviously things were like in the script and stuff. Yeah, I guess I've kind of just noticed that there's just this thing that I feel like women constantly joke about of just being like, oh, like boys will be boys. Like, of course he like wants a blowjob or whatever. And I just have like noticed that like some people talk like that. It is kind of a thing that's been portrayed in like media many times. That yeah, it just felt like good to just like I don't know, like talk about it like with our girlfriends when we like all experienced different stuff. And I also just think that these sex stories aren't necessarily like traumatizing. Some of them are just kind of like embarrassing. Like I think one of my stories is that like my like some guy I'm seeing's mom walks in on us or something like that's just extremely embarrassing. And I feel like that can happen to just anybody like of any gender. And yeah, I guess it was like it was I don't like to think of it as like such so traumatizing. I don't know, because I feel like a lot of sex can be like awkward and it's not as sexy as we want to imagine it to be. And I feel like I mean it's happened to me before where like I have like dumb sex stories as well, but like yeah, I don't see it as like traumatizing. It's more just like embarrassing. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that
it's
makes total
like
sense.
She has
yeah,
that
and I just hope that
end of the
people aren't going
story.
through a lot of sexual trauma, genuinely.
What were you saying, Isabel?
I was gonna say, at the end of all the sex stories,
Mm.
Chloe's character, no, Helena goes, sorry, Amber goes, um, because Lavinia says, "What about you? Do you have a story?" And Amber goes, "No, I don't have a story. I don't have anything funny." And then Lola goes, "These stories aren't funny, they're tragic." But she's like laughing as she's saying that. And I do feel like that actually, that line sort of sums up the entire car scene in a way. Do you know what I mean? Like it's all funny and we're like laughing and talking about these sex stories and whatever, but then there's something degrading about these stories as well. But like the girls are just laughing it off because like that's sort of like what they're taught to do. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, totally. But it's also
yeah.
kind of like all you really can do at the end of the day. And it's funny how like when girls get together and they talk about sex, it's all about like, oh my God, like all these things were so weird. And then when guys get together and talk about sex, all they do is just make shit up and lie to each other that say shit that never happened. They just make up
Really?
lies to each other.
Sorry.
They just go back and forth lying, making things up. But girls are actually like truthful to each other when they talk about sex when it's just girls.
Yeah, that is an incredible difference. That was a very poignant point that you just made there. And Sophia, I have to ask. I'm a huge fan of the Uncharted video games, and I thought you did Chloe such justice in that movie. Are you hopeful that we'll get a sequel down the line?
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I would love that. Yeah, hopefully.
Fingers crossed. And Isabel, my last question. I saw Gaspar Noé was in the special thanks. I was just curious about who your directorial influences are because I could definitely see some Gaspar in this film.
Gaspar is definitely one of them. And he's so great and lovely and helped me with this movie in some ways and gave me notes. But I would say, you know, Coralie Fargette's like a huge inspiration. You know, her first movie, Revenge, was a big inspiration for this movie, and I love The Substance. Julia Ducournau, who directed Raw and Titan, like love her films, really bold, and just unapologetic. And then Harmony Korine for sure. Like just people pushing the boundaries and unafraid and making things that feel authentic to them. Like filmmakers who are doing that are the filmmakers that inspire me, you know?
Those are some stellar influences, and I like that this film isn't afraid to shy away from anything, and that you really go there and go for it in this film. So, congrats to you all on this movie. I had a blast watching it, and I can't wait to see what you all do next. So, thank you guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you,
you for
Tyler.
having
Good to
Bye.
us.
see you.